Kia Telluride during the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. Experience what everyone's talking about. Stop by for a test drive today and discover the perfect fit, featuring spacious 8-passenger seating, premium interior, and advanced safety and technology features. Bill Bird Kia, the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. The road is yours this summer and a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Telluride with $2,253 per $1,000 financed at 48 months. Quality limit cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 7/7/25.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
Are you hungry for authentic Mexican cuisine? Then come to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, where we serve up the freshest, most flavorful dishes on the beach. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, a great location, comfortable atmosphere, and happy hour from 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free, regular margaritas and 12-ounce house drafts. And you're going to love their lunch specials Monday through Friday from 11 to 3. Plus live music Wednesdays and Saturdays starting at 5:30. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, Thomas Drive across from the Navy base. And 10908 Front Beach Road.
Damage from hurricanes is devastating and traumatic. After these storms, dishonest contractors show up, hoping to make a quick buck from your insurance claim. They'll promise anything if they can get you to sign a contract, collect your payment in advance, and ultimately do no work at all. Avoid being the victim of contractor fraud. Get estimates from at least 3 contractors. Check references, and remember, if you didn't request it, reject it.
To report fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, we're taking the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I love it.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Monday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 here in Panama City Beach, and all the hot but beautiful surrounding areas. We appreciate you tuning in today. You can give us a call at 850-215-6290. While you're listening, you can head over to your phone and download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. All you got to do is search up 104.3 in either store, and it'll pop up right there in the first page of search results. And of course, you can ask Siri or Alexa to open your ESPN Northwest Florida app, and it'll pop open right there so you can listen to us wherever you go. As always, we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, streaming every day. The Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9, Inside Drive right here from 11 to 1, and of course the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. Make sure you follow all those pages, subscribe, whatever verb you can do for those different things. Please do it. Check us out. We should learn if we've got a couple finalists today in the Best of Bay competition, as the finalists are supposed to be notified today.
Today's the day?
Today's the day they're supposed to be notified. I don't know if there's another round of voting for like the top 3 or it's it at this point, but hopefully we hear from the News Herald for either the Inside Drive trying to go back-to-back or, of course, the Coach James Hale Show.
Now, do you think you'll hear it before we're done at 1?
I haven't seen anything yet. So, and we were kind of delayed on the nomination part a little bit, too. Yeah. We didn't hear a few days later, so it's probably a lot of people to get in touch with in one day. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open and keep everybody posted.
If it breaks, now we got to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. I got to keep refreshing my email as we go through it. One other thing you need to do if you haven't done already, we are approaching the start of college football and the NFL football season. I'll give us the official countdowns here in a second, but if you want to watch all your favorite teams, you just head over to ESPNPC.com. Top of the page, you'll see Scorpion TV. Sign up with code ESPNNW. It's only going to be $45.08 a month. I guarantee that's probably at least half of what you're paying for whatever streaming devices you're using right now. But the beautiful thing is they've got over 5,000 live streaming channels, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Red Zone's really all you need if you're an NFL fan, especially doing your fantasy football and all that stuff. And of course, they've got all the pay-per-view events, all the boxing, UFC, whatever event you normally have to pay $70, $80, $90, sometimes over $100 for those pay-per-view events. You'll save about half. I mean, it'll pay for itself if you watch one pay-per-view event per month. There's also got 400 local channels from all across the world, or also across the United States, including Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. In addition, it just keeps getting better. Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, plus 200 entertainment and news networks. And you can also watch over 10,000 movies on demand. The best part, you can watch up to 5 devices on a time. You want to split this with somebody, you're talking about barely any money at that point. So, again, that's at ESPNPC.com. That is Scorpion TV. I think I covered it. Real quick, some hard rock action. July's got a lot of stuff going on. It's actually been a lot of fun. They did a 50% bonus yesterday on that Gold Cup final, which I'm going to talk about here in just a second. But refer your friends to Hard Rock Bet, and you'll both score a $50 bonus bet. That's up to $50 for you and up to $50 for them. Bet together, win together. Roll with us on Hard Rock Bet. Hard Rock Bet is offered by the Seminole Indian Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. It's Hard Rock Bets. If you're looking to join Hard Rock Bets, let me know. I'll send you my referral code so we can both get an additional $50 in bonus bets. Speaking of the U.S. men's national team, had a pretty good run in the Gold Cup, basically playing with their B team, so to speak. A lot of the normal international starters for FIFA and that kind of stuff, either injured or playing in that the FIFA Club World Cup, which kind of pulled some players away playing with their club teams and that stuff. But it didn't stop the USA from making it to the final. That final was last night against Mexico. The USA's men's national team scored very early in that game, and luckily they did not pay for the goal line technology, so they couldn't review it, although that ball looked like it completely crossed the goal line after it hit the crossbar. So the men went up early in that game, and then, of course, we all know Mexico scored a little bit later in that first half, and then went on to score the go-ahead goal in the 77th minute. The Mexican national team has now won 2 straight Gold Cups, the CONCACAF Gold Cups. Is this a good thing for Team USA, or is it a bad thing? The bad, yes, this was uninspiring. To be frank, the Americans have just been okay for most of the tournament, looking shaky en route to the final. This came after losing 4 straight games before entering this tournament. The World Cup is less than a year away, and we're doing this kind of stuff, but there may be an argument for it. Zoom out, and this men's national team roster, missing its top-line talent, was behind before the Gold Cup game. It also meant plenty of playing time for key possible reserves at next year's Summer Cup. And some of those names, Diego Luna, Malik Tillman, and Alex Freeman, showed their worth. The U.S. men's national team coach Mauricio Pochettino has much better idea about his World Cup roster than he did 2 weeks ago. And if you watched the game live like I did, you might have been quite disappointed in that no-call handball. It was about the 67th, 68th minute in the game yesterday, and the referee immediately waved it off and said that if your plant arm, when you're going to fall, hits the ball, it's not a handball. But didn't know that. Don't even know if that's a real thing or the ref was just doing that at that time. But, yeah, if you were watching the game or you've seen the replays, he literally puts his hand on the ball as he's falling over inside the box. And a penalty kick was not awarded. Obviously, if that was awarded and the U.S. went on to score, they would have been up 2-1 at that point, and Mexico would have needed to figure it out. Lastly, applause must be given to Mexico, who played a cleaner game than the Americans. I was moved by Raul Jimenez paying tribute to his former teammate Diego Jota, the Liverpool star who tragically died last week. But we've got to figure out stuff before next year. I'm looking forward to the FIFA World Cup. Always an interesting thing. You've got Reliant. That was it's not Reliant Stadium. That was an NRG Stadium yesterday where the Houston Texans play, and they brought in real grass specifically, obviously for this, but also for going forward there with the FIFA World Cup next year. MetLife Stadium doing the same thing, which if you know about MetLife Stadium and the artificial turf that they have, I think they have, don't quote me on this, but I think they have more ACL tears on that field than any other field in the National Football League.
Wow.
But yet they can put in grass for the FIFA World Cup, but won't put in grass for their own teams to play on. So, I mean, if the Packers can have grass, there's no reason why MetLife Stadium can't have grass, because that frozen tundra stays very cold in the winter.
It
and,
sure
it's
does.
cold up there in it's not Newark, the Meadowlands area there in New Jersey, but not quite as cold as
I wonder how
Green
hard
Bay.
the ground gets in Green Bay.
I think they have
Could you
some kind
imagine?
of subterranean system that keeps that field a little warmer than it could if it was just completely open to the air. If anybody knows more information on that, I can't really Google that quickly. Maybe I can. Green Bay field warmers, kind of like Augusta
Do you
National.
think they have something in the ground that helps keep it from freezing?
I thought I read that at one point. Let's see.
I mean, that would be just genius if that was the case. Because could you imagine being tackled on frozen, ground?
Well, it's like the Niners and the Packers played several years ago in the playoffs. Jimmy G was still the starting quarterback, and it was like -10 when they were playing.
Oh, God.
So I don't care if you have a heating system or not, which they actually do. The heating system was installed in 1967 to keep the field from freezing, particularly during the late season games in Green Bay's cold climate. It was the first NFL stadium to implement such a system. But when it's -10, I just don't know if that can keep up. So I think it was literally the frozen tundra during that game specifically. But their current system uses a network of pipes buried beneath the playing surface, circulating a mixture of water and glycol, which is antifreeze, preventing freezing. They have boilers and circulations. The system is powered by boilers which heat the fluid, and pumps circulate it through the field's tubing.
I wonder if they're still using that same method that was installed back
That long ago, 67, yeah. No doubt. I mean, and this kind of sounds exactly like what Augusta National has in all their greens. And theirs is more not to prevent freezing, but more to be able to control the temperature of the soil.
Oh, right on.
To be able to control, what kind of inputs they need to put in the green and not. So obviously that's a little more modern. And, that's a good question. I wonder if they've made any updates to it in, what is that, going on
crazy.
what, 60 years-ish? That's wild. Indeed.
Is it just me or, I just don't get it. I wouldn't get excited sitting out watching a football game as much as I love it.
Yeah.
Sitting out and, -10 degrees watching a game. I don't know.
And yet the stadiums are always packed.
I know.
But it's like that the Chiefs-Dolphins game from a couple playoffs ago. It ended up, people got frostbite, ended up losing fingers and toes and all that. I think that was more the Dolphins fans that weren't used to that particular climate coming up there from Miami. But yeah, certainly a chilly thing, and they're trying to do what they can. But anyway, getting back to, it's just wild how we're changing turf to grass for the World Cup, but we can't do it on an ongoing basis. And I know NRG Stadium is not open and that kind of stuff. I also was talking to one of my friends yesterday, too, that had the opportunity to tour Jerry's World in Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which he said was unbelievable. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Everybody knows that. But you still appreciate, this thing that he's done over there. But he said they're going to be putting in, because there's going to be some World Cup games played there as well, they're going to be putting in grass, but they're going to bring in grow lights. Sounds like obviously something a lot of people do, and they're going to try to grow grass with those grow lights, simulating sunlight and all that, because obviously in order to have grass grow, it has to photosynthesize, which needs water, sunlight, and sugar. So obviously the light that they're trying to mimic is that sunlight. So that'll be interesting as well to see how all that comes to fruition and when they're going to start it. Is it going to interrupt, the football season? Because World Cup's next summer here in North America. We've got Canada, USA, and South America all hosting World Cup games.
Now, what was the stadium? I want to say it's in like Arizona, maybe where.
Yes, yep.
Where
State Farm Stadium.
It slides in and slides out?
When they built that stadium, the turf slides out so it can be in the sun, getting natural sunlight, all that stuff. And then before games, it slides right back in.
How crazy is that?
It's actually very, very smart to be able to have an indoor facility but still have regular grass on it.
Right.
But the problem with that is you can't retrofit that to stadiums that are already, built and all that. But I'm sure it's technology that'll continue on forward for if they build new stadiums in the near future.
But there's a lot of that stuff that goes on that people just don't know about. I remember the stadium up in Louisville. When they first built the new stadium, they put in that synthetic grass. It's like a combination of like synthetic and real grass.
Gotcha.
But it was so that, and they put that system underneath where, when it rains, the water goes out pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, because water obviously is a key component to growing grass, but too much water can suffocate the grass and kill it. So, there's a lot of interesting things when it comes to the interworkings of a football stadium. Obviously, we had the pleasure of having Al Carl on talking about ice hockey for many, many weeks during the college playoffs, during the NHL playoffs, Stanley Cup Finals, all that good stuff, and we learned a lot about how he takes care of the ice as well, as he's the lead ice technician there for the Washington Capitals. But yeah.
By the way, nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Ward picked this up for me up there at the College World Series.
Did he really? That is awesome,
yes,
man. So if anybody wants to see it, they can jump on Facebook or YouTube. Or
the Coastal Carolina College World Series shirt. They just came up just slightly short. Head coach Kevin Shaw is going to be suspended for the first 2 games of next season.
Because of getting tossed?
Yep. And then they added the 2-game suspension. So even if Coastal would have won that game, he wouldn't have been coaching that the third and final rubber match game.
Oh, my God.
So because
it was really kind of a bogus deal.
Yeah. Brady, and that guy, I forget the name of the we went through it at length before. Yeah. But he just had a terrible record in the MLB and probably shouldn't have been the lead, the play. I don't know if he was the lead umpire or not.
Not in that game.
No. Yeah. Obviously, the LSU maybe still would have won, but getting your coach tossed and your first base coach tossed in the bottom of the first in Game 2 of the College World Series final.
That was tough.
Is never a good thing. The trade is officially finalized. The trade I am talking about is the Kevin Durant trade. You've got 7 teams involved in that trade, which is an NBA record. Let me pull up the details for that, as I had them, but I moved them. I don't know where I moved them to. Let's see. Oh, that's the All-Star rosters. We'll get to that in the next segment. Maybe I deleted it. I got 20 tabs up here, and they were in order before, and now they're not. I think I can pull it up.
Listen, I can feel your pain because I do the same thing. Have about 15 different pages open at one time. So.
It's not good for your RAM on your computer, but...
I know. Mark reminds me quite often of that.
Yes.
Man, my computer's running slow. Well, you got 40 websites open. Close those down, and you should be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I got it right here.
Okay, cool.
All right. I found it. So this is the first 7-team trade in NBA history. I was going to talk a little bit more tomorrow with Doc A as well. But as y'all know, Houston got Kevin Durant and Clint Capella. The Brooklyn Nets got 2 second-rounders. The Golden State Warriors got Alex Tuhey and Jemai Mashak. The Atlanta Hawks got a second-round swap, Dave Roddy, and some cash. The LA Lakers got Adu Thiero. And the Minnesota Timberwolves got Rocco Zakarsky, 2 second-rounders, and some cash. And then the big names, not big names, but the most people went to the Phoenix Suns. Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Kaiman Malouche, Rasheer Fleming, Kobe Bray, Daquan Plowden, and a second-round future pick. So it is officially finalized now, the 7-team NBA trade. Want to talk about it we can talk about it for a few minutes. The legend was back on the 4th of July. He had got bounced out of the competition because of that Impossible Foods scandal, whatever you want to call it. He was doing some sponsorship with Impossible Foods. So Nathan's Hot Dogs thought that they didn't like that. So they didn't allow him to compete last year. But I'm talking about Joey Chestnut.
Yep.
He competed this year in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest, which was a welcome sight for all those food eating competition fans. And not only did he win, but he won handedly after eating 70 and a half hot dogs. That's 24 more than the second place competitor. If those of you bet the over, because that's the one thing you can bet the total number of hot dogs that Joey Chestnut will eat. That over-under number was 70, and he ate 70 and a half. So if you bet the over, you were sweating it, but you were excited at the end. And if you bet the under, that's a bad beat, and I feel bad for you. So,
God, could you imagine that? I mean, I can't even fathom that.
I couldn't eat 5 hot dogs, let alone 70. But, they do all the training. They learn how to stretch their stomach and all that stuff. But
well, how do you stretch your stomach?
You just keep eating more until, because it's a muscle. It's just like anything else. You train it to be able to handle all that stuff. What they never talk about, though, is the after effects for the next week or so. I'm sure that's wild.
I'm just wondering if they rid their body of it after the fact.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, how long does it take to, or do they, just dive into some X-Lax or something like that and just try to clear everything out? I'm sure there's some kind of routine or something like that, but
hopefully it's safe.
Yeah, I would hope so.
70 hot dogs.
Yep. His all-time record is 76. So he was only 6 or 5.5 shy of tying his all-time record. They get 10 minutes.
Now I have a healthy appetite, but I mean, probably max I could probably do 5 or 6, and that would be the end. What about you?
If I got to 5, I think I would be proud of myself.
Now, these are just bun and hot dogs.
Yeah, and they usually dip those buns in water to make it kind of ball up, and they just swallow that, and it's not pretty. And one of the guys, they didn't show it live, but on the internet after the fact, one of the guys, usually you'll have at least one that, lose a lot of their hot dogs that they just put down. But yeah, 10 minutes.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they didn't show that live. They showed it after the fact.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't live.
Yeah. It was, but they didn't show it live. Oh, okay. And then after the fact, the internet had it all over the place where the guy lost his. I guess that's one way of getting rid of all the hot dogs you just ate. But yeah, so good to see Joey Chestnut back in the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. And up there on Coney Island, New York. Always a favorite there on the 4th of July. We got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to talk about some MLB All-Star rosters, who got snubbed, who belongs there, and, of course, the Home Run Derby a week from today up there at Truist Park. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive. We are a proud partner of Hard Rock Bets. If you refer your friends and yourself, you get a $50 bonus bet. Just check out Hard Rock Bets in the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, likely thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and a high of 86 with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the southwest. For tonight, mostly clear skies and a low near 80. Tomorrow, a variety of mostly sunshine and possible thunderstorms and a high around 87. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Get ready to connect. ESPN Northwest Florida is thrilled to introduce the newest rock stars to the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Beach Chamber. Johnson's Family Medicine and Aesthetics, Trident Coastal Cleaning Services, Real Groovy Experiences, and Law Office of Lisa R. Galindo, PA.
We're here to champion your success and connect you with this amazing community.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida.
And the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce, reaching Bay County and beyond.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Golf Plus studios. spreads, picks, and parlays. Get the breaking news, insider angles, and expertise so you can run your game.
I told y'all to run that.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey, ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I apologize for not recognizing the women's 2025 Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Eating Contest. Her name, a name if you know competitive eating, very familiar. That's Miki Sudo. She consumed 33 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. This marks her 11th win at the event. Michelle Lesko finished second with 22 3/4 hot dogs and buns. So both champions won by more than 10 hot dogs. Joey Chestnut was 24 ahead, and she was, I guess that would be 10 1/4 ahead of second place. So congratulations to Miki Sudo as she wins another Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest.
Miki Sudo.
That was, if I'm pronouncing M-I-K-I correctly, I'm going to go with Mickey. Maybe it's Miki, but Joey Chestnut now has 17 titles under his, and he's what, 41 years old, I think is what you said?
Yeah, 41.
So he's, this is a story, but when I went to school at Coastal Carolina, there's a place in Myrtle Beach called Broadway at the beach. It's like a big, it's kind of like Pier Park, but it's got a lot of water around it. Anyway.
Here's the crazy part about it. Miki Sudo is, she's 40. So about the same.
About the same age. They've been doing it probably for about the same amount of time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But, yeah, we were at Broadway at the beach. One of our friends wanted to enter a chicken wing eating contest, and this was back in either 2005 or 2006, so many, many years ago. Joey Chestnut wasn't quite where he is, obviously, now and in the last 5-10 years. He was there, and I forget how many chicken wings he ate, but it was an astronomical number. So kind of saw Joey Chestnut before he really rose to the
so he's just more than hot dogs.
Oh yeah, he's probably got records and all sorts of stuff.
That's crazy.
Let's see.
By the way, Miki Sudo's birthday is the same as mine.
Oh,
yeah, July 23rd. No pressure.
There you go. You'll have to remember that going
That's right.
forward. Maybe you guys can have a hot dog or two in celebration. Oh, let's see. I'm going to see what other records he has, because what's more fun? He's got 55 world records in competitive eating.
Wow.
Some of these are just wild. Obviously, we know the hot dogs. He did that in 2021. He ate 76 of those. Chicken wings, which I was kind of just talking about, 182 in 30 minutes.
Now, I could knock a dent in some chicken wings.
How many do you think you could do?
You don't have the bread to deal with.
No. And if they're cooked correctly, you could just rip it right off the bone.
Yeah.
Wonder if it's fried or smoked.
And why do they say, when you go into a restaurant and you say, yeah, I want some chicken wings, you want regular or traditional, or however they say it?
It's probably maybe boneless and traditional.
That's it, boneless and traditional. Boneless is not wings.
No, it's a chicken nugget.
That's exactly right.
That's been a debate for quite some time. But yes, yeah, and a lot of times, nowadays we're getting kind of spoiled. People can ask some restaurants; they usually upcharge if you want flats or drums. So you can.
I'm a drum guy myself.
Yeah,
but I don't mind flats.
Yeah. I'm wondering if these were all mixed up or just different flats and drums. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hard-boiled eggs, 141 in 8 minutes. That was back in 2013.
Oh, that would be tough, too, because the yolks are usually dry.
Yep, and you just start...
How many? 181?
141.
God, that's still a lot.
In 8 minutes.
That's just swallowing.
Yeah, you're probably not even chewing at that point.
Oh,
let's see, 141.
What if they put, some olive oil on them to help them go on
Slide down, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, let's see. 141 divided by 8. That's almost 18 hard-boiled eggs a minute.
Whew, that's rolling through some. I'm good.
It'd be gassy after that, that's for sure. Asparagus. Gas and your pee smelling. So asparagus, 12 pounds and 8.75 ounces of deep-fried asparagus pears. That was at the Stockton Asparagus Festival. That was a 10-minute timer, and that was April 26, 2014.
What kind of money do they win?
I know that the Nathan's one is a pretty decent prize. I'll have to look that up here in a second. Pulled pork sandwiches. 45 pulled pork sandwiches in 10 minutes.
Good God.
I don't think I could eat 3 pulled pork sandwiches in 10 minutes.
Either. I guess depends on the size of the buns.
Yeah.
It's one of those Hawaiian rolls or something.
That's true.
Bad.
That's true. How much do you win? Okay, here we go. I need to know. I need to know now. Each division, men's and women's, in the Nathan's Hot Dog eating contest received $10,000. The total prize, so they only win $10,000 for eating. I know only. I mean, $10,000 is a lot of money, but shoot, $10,000 for 70 hot dogs.
That's not bad.
You know, I guess if he divided $10,000 by 70.
But that's not what the winner got.
No, that's what the winner gets. The total prize purse for the event is $40,000, with second place winning $5,000 and $25,000, and third place winning $5,000 and $2,500 for second and third, respectively. But I think where he really makes his money is in all the sponsorships and endorsement deals and all that stuff. Tacos from Taco Bell, 53 soft tacos in 10 minutes.
53.
53. That was July 29th, 2011.
Wow.
We talked about the hot dogs. We talked about the chicken wings. 103 Crystal Burgers in 8 minutes.
Yeah, those things, though, just basically just melt when they go in your mouth.
That's true. That's true.
Because of the steam bun.
Yep. Yep. 103.
I don't eat those anymore. I had a real bad experience one time with them. And I said, you know, if I can make it through the night, I'll never have them again.
That's not a good experience.
Of course, that was like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you know, a little,
some libations were involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
Understand.
not pretty.
Pork ribs, 13.76 pounds of pork rib meat in 12 minutes. That was back in 2013. Meat pies, 23 6-ounce meat pies at the Silver Skipper World Meat Pie Eating Championship in 10 minutes.
Now, these are all the
records he owns or holds.
So does he he must just like travel around to all these contests.
Yep.
Does he win most of them?
Yeah, I would assume if he holds the world record in all these. Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, what is it? This may take a while. I'll just kind of bounce around to some interesting ones here. Philly cheesesteak. He ate 23 6-inch chili cheesesteaks. That was at Dorney Park. Actually, that's where we used to go on the last day of school up in New Jersey. That's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, right on.
Funnel cake, 5.9 pounds in 10 minutes. Let's see. Let's get some crazy ones. Twinkies. He holds the world record for Twinkies. 121 Twinkies in 6 minutes. That is rapid fire there. That is for certain. Let's see. Tamales. 102 tamales in 12 minutes. 47 grilled cheese sandwiches in 10 minutes. Pastrami. 25 7-ounce Katz Delicatessen pastrami sandwiches in 10 minutes. 15 6-ounce bowls, or 16-ounce bowls, which is 1.875 gallons total of gumbo. Interesting there.
I wonder if he gets his A1C checked pretty frequently.
I would hope he takes some acid reducers as well.
Man.
Hostess donuts. I think those are the small little white powdered donuts that you get in that pack. It's got like 5 or 6 of them.
Yep.
257 of those in 6 minutes. Jeez. Let's see. 165 pierogies in 8 minutes. Pizza Hut pizzones, 7.5 Pizza Hut pizzones in 10 minutes. I feel like that's a larger size pizza there. What else is what? I mean, all these are absolutely crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Ramen noodles, the short form. He ate 10 cups of Nissin Cup Noodles ramen in 1 minute and 50 seconds. Waffles, the Eggo-style waffles. He ate 81 of those in 8 minutes.
Wow.
There's a whole bunch of other records, too, if you want to find out for yourself. But Joey Chestnut, a king of the eating world. No doubt about that.
His cholesterol's got to be high, unless he's like doing something, to fix it. So
I got to imagine he's doing some kind of training besides, and not only are you doing all this stuff, but you've got to constantly be eating things and all that. So I don't know. Let's jump away from the food eating side of things. I just found that tab I was looking for before on the Durant trade. But the Major League Baseball rosters or Major League Baseball All-Star rosters are officially finalized. The starters have been named. On the AL side of things, your starters are Raleigh, that's the big dumper, Vlad Guerrero Guerrero Jr., Torres, Ramirez, Wilson, Judge, Baez, Green, and O'Hearn. Your reserves are Kirk, Aranda, Bergman, Chisholm Jr., Pena, Bobby Witt Jr., Rooker, Buxton, Kwan, and Rodriguez. Your pitchers are Skubal, Crochet or Crockett. I'm not a baseball guy, so I don't know. Kikuchi, Fried, DeGrom, Smith, Brown, Bubic, Wu, Chapman, Hader, and Munoz. To the NL side of things, starters are Smith, Freeman, Marte, Machado, Lindor, Acuna Jr., Crow Armstrong, Tucker, and of course, Ohtani. Your reserves are Goodman, Alonso, Dela Cruz, Donovan, Olson, Suarez, Schwarber, Carroll, Stowers, Tatis Jr., and Wood. Your pitchers, Kershaw, Sale from the Braves, Wheeler, Skeens, Webb, Ray, Peralta, Gore, Yamamoto, Boyd, Diaz, Adam, and Rodriguez.
I heard a couple of Braves in there.
Yeah, I think the Braves ended up having three. Olson, Acuna Jr., and Chris Sale.
There you go.
And then some of the biggest snubs for the All-Star teams this year. And you got to remember, there's obviously the fan voting, and then at some point, you got players that are voted by the players. So some of these snubs may be, on purpose by other players. You never know. The Los Angeles Dodgers led all teams with 5 representatives in the All-Star game. The Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners each have 4 players on the roster. Let's see. Biggest snubs, most notable snubs in the All-Star game rosters. Andrew Abbott. He's the starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. He is in his 3rd MLB season and has broken out to become one of the top left-handed starters in the National League. He has gone 7-1 with a 2.15 ERA across 83.1 innings, and he's also for the Reds in 2024. His efforts have helped the Reds be a competitive team in the NL Central. Take a quick drink of water.
That always helps.
Yes. The heat, all that good stuff. Juan Soto did not make the All-Star team. He's obviously an outfielder for the New York Mets. He signed the richest free agent contract in MLB history in the offseason and has slowly begun to prove his worth after a mediocre start to the season. The 26-year-old is hitting .267, .401, .514 with 21 home runs, 51 RBIs, and a league-leading 72 walks. Obviously, he started off kind of slow, not leading up to expectations, and then he had a fantastic June, so maybe the slow start to the season kind of kept him off the All-Star roster. Christopher Sanchez, he's a starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies look like a true NL contender after a 53-37 start to the season. While Zach Wheeler has captured the biggest headlines among the team's starter, Sanchez has been a key contributor as well. The 28-year-old has gone 7-2 with a 2.68 ERA in 100.2 innings so far in 2025. Joe Ryan, he's a starting pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. Ryan may be a victim of the loaded nature of the American League starting pitcher, but that doesn't mean he wasn't worthy of recognition. He's gone 8-4 with a 2.74 ERA in 98.1 innings for the Twins so far in 2025. Michael Busch, he's a first baseman for the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs have been a major story to follow this season, but the talent on the roster also means some very worthy players will be left off. Busch has been dominant at the plate, hitting .293, .377, and .562 with 18 home runs and 56 RBIs in 2025. Seiya Suzuki, he's an outfielder for the Chicago Cubs. He's also on my fantasy team, which is tanking right now. Suzuki is another victim of a large amount of Cubs All-Stars, but he may be the best case to have been included. He has hit .261, .318, and .551 with 24 home runs and a league-leading 75 RBIs. Next, Carlos Narvaez, he's a catcher for the Boston Red Sox. He was acquired by the Red Sox in the offseason and has quietly become one of the best catchers in the American League. He has hit .274, .351, .436 with 7 home runs and 28 RBIs, while being a strong defensive catcher for the pitching staff that produced 2 All-Stars. Junior Caminero, he's third baseman for the Tampa Bay Rays. He has appeared in 3 MLB seasons and officially inserted himself this season. He has hit .258, .302, .511 with 21 home runs, 55 RBIs, while threatening a bat for the Rays team that has gotten off to a 48-41 start. Jackson Holliday, second baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. He was the number 1 pick back in 2022, and he's adjusted well to the major leagues, hitting .251, .301, and .395 with 10 homers and 34 ribbies. He's also played great defense at second base and is one of the bright spots for the Orioles in 2025. George Springer, outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays, had a tough year last year, but his resurgence in Toronto has been nice to see. He has been hitting .285, .378, and .520 with 16 homers and 53 ribbies for the Blue Jays, and will look to help the team contend in a loaded division down the stretch. And those are some of your biggest snubs for the All-Star game coming up here in a week and a day, I believe. Home Run Derby coming up next Monday. And speaking of that Home Run Derby, you've got all your Home Run Derby participants. This has been out for a few days, but since we were talking about the All-Star game, and here we are a week away. Ronald Acuna Jr. headlines the home team there for the Atlanta Braves competing in the All-Star game. Obviously, he's only been playing, I believe, since May 23rd as he came off that ACL tear from last year. But his longest home run so far of this year has been 467 feet. Hardest hit home run, 115.5 miles per hour. May 23rd was his first day back, so he hasn't really had a lot of opportunity, but he has certainly been playing well as he's went deep 9 times in his first 28 games. Next on the list has been a big story of this year, and that's Cal Raleigh, but y'all know him as the Big Dumper. He's the catcher for the Mariners, and he's currently got 35 home runs. He's excited about participating in the All-Star Home Run Derby, and he said earlier this year that he would do that in a heartbeat if given the chance. Well, now here's his chance. Longest home run this year, 440 feet. Hardest hit, 115.2. Next, you've got James Wood from the Washington Nationals. He's currently got 23 home runs, and his longest is 451. Hardest hit, 116.3. Next, you've got, I think those are your, there's only 3? No, there's going to be more than 3, right?
You'd think.
Maybe those are just the ones they're highlighting in this particular article. I'll find out the rest.
It's got to be true. It's on the internet, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I'm on the internet right now. Here are the 2025 Home Run Derby participants. What is it? We got Acuna. We got the Big Dumper. We've got James Wood. Oh, maybe I just didn't scroll far enough down in the article. Maybe I did. Anyway, we got to take a quick break. When we get back, I'm going to dive into the PGA Tour playoff results. Maybe talk a little bit about what's going on at Wimbledon as Novak Djokovic has made his, I believe, 12th appearance to the quarterfinals in Wimbledon with his victory earlier this morning. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up to the minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk.
Tell me what you know.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Had another exciting PGA Tour event with Scottie Scheffler and Rory McIlroy not in the field. Went down to a playoff again. Don't know if you had the opportunity to see it, but University of Illinois alum John Deere Classic is about 3 hours south of, or maybe 3 hours north of Champaign. But Brian Campbell ended up getting that dub in the playoff. He went to Illinois. He's an Illinois native and won the John Deere Classic in his home state in dramatic fashion. Second win this year on the PGA Tour, second win this year in a playoff. During the event, the fans were cheering him along the way. They were doing the famous chants of ILL, and then he would often reply and finish that with INI. I didn't know that was an actual chant there from Illinois, but I guess they go ILL, and then he responded INI. So
that's pretty cool.
The crowd was certainly bringing him through this tournament, and he had some ups and downs, and I believe it was on the 14th hole. He ended up making a double bogey after he snapped one quite left in the round prior to the playoffs. Yes, 15, he made a double bogey, and at that time dropped him a few strokes back, but then rebounded nicely with a nice birdie on the par 5 17th, which everybody was birdieing, and that got him to that minus 18 again. A little more difficult than he probably wanted to make it, but, it's golf. It's challenging, and Emmanuel Grillo was in the playoff with him, and with that playoff, he didn't really have a great tee shot. It was a little bit right, found himself in the rough, and then got the old flyer from the rough with a pitching wedge. Went over the green, then left his pitch back short, letting Campbell have basically 2 putts to win at that point, as Campbell hit a great shot from the fairway to about 10, 12 feet short of the hole and then drained. Or he missed the putt, but he didn't need to make it because he had 2 putts to win. So Campbell picked up his second victory of the year. Like I said, both came in playoffs. He's vaulted to number 28 in the FedEx Cup standings and 55th in the official world golf rankings. This is his second full season on the PGA Tour. The 32-year-old has been kind of bouncing back and forth and is back playing full-time on the PGA Tour, as he was on the PGA Tour several years ago, and then kind of bounced back and is having his banner season this year with tour wins. He began his rookie tour campaign in the 16-17 season, and that was his second shot at the big leagues. Campbell spent 7 years in the golfing wilderness. He battled back through multiple injuries and a myriad of disappointments on the Korn Ferry Tour and elsewhere, wondering at least once if the internal fortitude and the game could find his way back. I've worked my entire life to be in this position, and unfortunately we've had a couple years there where it wasn't looking so good, he admitted. You start thinking about, am I going to be doing something else? His doubts came to a head during the second stage of the PGA Tour Q School 3 years ago, where he made a quintuple bogey on a par 3. I thought my career was over in that moment, he said. That night, I just kind of had a talk with myself and said, you know what? Whatever happens is okay. Trust yourself. The next round, I went out there and shot 8 under and got myself right back in there. I guess I was like, maybe golf is not over for me. That was the moment when everything changed. Time and time again, he called on that sense of resolve, and he needed it again in the final round at TPC Deer Run when the low scoring that had typified the Quad Cities events, but had largely been missing, though, for the first 3 rounds, came back with a vengeance. Early on, the leaderboard was popping like the 4th of July fireworks display, with 11 early starters charging back from the middle with rounds of 65 or lower. Intermittent showers greeted the third-round leaders and slowed the scoring, and the leaderboard tightened. Defending champion and third-round leader Davis Thompson failed to fire, and challengers like 6-time winner Max Homa and 2-time winner Emmanuel Grillo and a handful of others took the lead and then fell back. Campbell had the lead himself on the 15th tee, like I said, where he stood 6 under par and a bogey-free on the day before a wild drive down the tree line hazard and a double bogey put him in arrears again. I just made a bad swing, he said. I think the humility made me slip, and I knew it was in the hazard from the start. I just kind of accepted it, and I was like, you know what? We're still in this. There are a lot of holes left that I actually really like. So the fighter from the Illini land fought back again. A birdie on the par 5 17th put him in front again, but he narrowly missed a winning birdie bid at 18 and found himself in a playoff after Grillo birdied 17 and even more narrowly missed his birdie bid from 38 feet 6 inches at 18. In a playoff, Campbell found himself in the 18th fairway, something he hadn't done in Mexico with a drive that was bound for timber out of bounds, but bounced back in the fairway, and a key win over Aldrich Pottgeiter, who won in a playoff last week on the PGA Tour. This time, Grillo drove into the trees right at the 18th fairway and sent his approach shot bounding to the back fringe after Campbell hit his approach to 16 feet. Campbell's two-putt par sealed the win, while Grillo failed to get up and down. Campbell joined Fighting Illini legend Steve Stricker, who won 3 straight at TPC Deere Run from 09 to 11 in the John Deere Classics winner's circle. He was an Illinois commit and watched it from his California home when Stricker sealed the last of those 3 wins with an epic birdie from the fairway bunker. I'm just so proud to be in the same conversation as Steve Stricker. I've looked up to him even before college started, he said. Campbell's 18 under 266 was the highest winning score at TPC Deere Run since Bryson DeChambeau prevailed with that same number in 2018. It's still magical to him. Thrilled to be here, he said. Magic does happen at the John Deere. So congratulations to Brian Campbell on his second PGA Tour win, vaulting him up the FedEx Cup standings list, as obviously the top 100 is key, and then it's 75, then it's 50, then it's your final 30. And all that FedEx Cup money, which we talked about, I believe, last week, maybe the week before, is all being spread out this year versus the final event, the Tour Championship, getting the majority of that purse. Current FedEx Cup standings, Scotty Scheffler, no doubt, way ahead of Rory McIlroy in the number 1 spot. Rory McIlroy, obviously number 2. Sepp Straka, number 3. Russell Henley, the Georgia boy, we call him Cousin Russell here on the show because Jay was is also a Henley, but Russell Henley doesn't have the D. But Justin Thomas, the Alabama grad, he is in 5th. Ben Griffin having a spectacular season in 6th. J.J. Spawn 7th. Keegan Bradley in 8th. Harris English 9th. Tommy Fleetwood 10. That's your top 10 of the current FedEx Cup standings. Got a big one coming up this week. Obviously, we'll have Keith Fleming on Wednesday talking about the Scottish Open with all your DFS plays and, of course, your betting card as well. As we are a proud partner here with Hard Rock Bet, and lots of good stuff coming up this month. You want to jump in there. If you don't have it downloaded, make sure you download it in the Apple or the Google Play or Apple Store. And they've got tons of stuff going on. They just recently dropped the new boost feature called the 100. We're dropping pre-built parlays boosted up to 500% on your home screen. And it's a first come, first serve. The first 100 people get in now, and then it resets with another boost. So make sure you get those boosts in there. And of course, if you want to sign up for Hard Rock Bets, just let me know, and I'll send you my referral link because I love another $50 in bonus bets. But it's been good so far. I mean, I've been on quite a run and want to keep that up. Had a nice fun one yesterday that came to fruition. That was the. I kind of felt bad because I didn't bet the U.S. to win that game. But sometimes, betting with your heart gets you in trouble. But was able to kind of put together a little parlay with that game yesterday because Hard Rock was offering a 50% boost on a 4-leg parlay in the Gold Cup final. Had over 2.5 goals. Final score was 2-1, so 3 total goals. Both teams to score. Thankfully, U.S. Scored in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then obviously Mexico scored a little bit later on in the half. And obviously, I had Mexico winning. Game result 90 minutes plus stoppage time, and then total corners. I had over 9.5. So that gave me an plus 1,100 as the odds, and then added another 50% boost on there. So $30 paid $525, and that'll obviously help with some medical expenses and all that wonderful stuff. But got lucky there. Got lucky. Yeah, but you just kind of knew Mexico, they're defending champions, and it was down there in Houston at NRG Stadium, so there was obviously a lot of Mexican fans at the game as well. So, but a lot of fun. Again, you can jump right into Hard Rock Bets. All sorts of stuff going on this month, and of course, it's offered by the Seminole Indian Tribe of Florida. You must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? All you got to do is call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. And they'll take care of you and get you on the right thing. So be careful. Obviously, you're betting real money and all that stuff. And Hard Rock's got it locked down till, I believe, 2056, if I'm not mistaken, because they're obviously the only one, because sports betting is not legal in the state of Florida. But
well, just also know it. Just because you're on the internet doesn't mean you're not going to be liable.
True. Yeah.
So
yep.
You get on there and do that, you're going to be. It's real money.
Yep. And I will say it's fairly easy to pull out as well, especially if you got a Venmo account. They'll dump it instantly into your Venmo account, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Hard Rock Bets right here, partner with ESPN Northwest Florida. Got a lot of live Wimbledon action going on right now. We got it on in the studio. We got the women's round of 16, and of course the men's singles. You had a round of 16 going on as we speak, but you've got some matches already finished up. As I mentioned, Novak Djokovic won his match against de Minaur, if I pronounce that correctly. He lost the first set 6-1 and then came back and won 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 to move on to his 12th, something like that, semifinal or quarterfinal in Wimbledon. That'll continue between now and Sunday, the 13th, with your final match coming up on Sunday. Also had Cabali beat Cilic. He won the first two sets, 6-4, 6-4, dropped the third set in a tiebreaker, 7-6. Tiebreaker was 7-4. And, of course, the fourth and final set, he won that one 7-6 in a tiebreaker. Won that one 7-3. So he also advances to the round, or the quarterfinal round. Earlier today, you had the American Shelton. I think he's the last American in there still. Don't quote me on that. He won his match against the Italian Sonego. He lost the first set 6-3, won the next set 6-1, won the third set in a tiebreaker 7-6, and he's currently up 1-0 in the fourth set. That match is currently going on as we speak. Later on, I think it's coming up here shortly after one of these matches gets over. That's Jannik Sinner and the Polish Dimitrov. Might not be Polish, but if I know my flags correctly. On the women's side of things, also in the round of 16, you had Samsonova beat Bouzas 7-5, 7-5 in straight sets to advance to the quarterfinal. And you've got a couple going on as we speak. You got the American Navarro. She's on the TV right now. She lost the first set 6-2 to Andreeva, who she doesn't have a flag, so I don't know where she's from. But currently needing to make some stuff happen in the second set. You don't want to lose straight sets, and we need an American in the quarterfinal. And then also you've got Swiatek. She's from, I think that might be Poland, versus the Norway. Finnish? No. That's Finland. Towson, that one comes up later on today. And, of course, you got the doubles on both sides as well. But most of those on ESPN or ABC. The greatest show on grass there, Wimbledon. Real mowers, nice and tight. Nice and tight. Ooh, that looked in. There was a controversy, this is just going from memory, yesterday as well with they have the video, like most sports, they have a video replay for the ball going in and out and all that stuff. And there was one that was like way out. And for some reason, the video replay thing got turned off. So it got called in, but the replays, you can look, it was clearly out, but they couldn't review it because the system was turned off. So always controversy in everything. And looks like Andreeva is going to probably cruise to this one. That was a 26-shot rally. She won that point to take the first game and go up 1-0 in the second set after she already won the first set 6-2. Let's see if I can find the upcoming match. I got to accept those cookies first. All right. So we already got. So it'll be Djokovic and Cabali in the. That's the obviously. Djokovic is from, I believe he's from Russia, and then Cabali is from, looks like Italy. Might be Might be Ireland, but I'm pretty sure it's probably Italy. And then you do have the American Fritz, who will go against Kachanov in the quarterfinal as well. And then, of course, Carlos Alcaraz, he is going to be going up against Norrie in the quarterfinal. So one American so far. Hopefully we'll get another one if Shelton can get his match won a little bit later on today. It kind of wraps up the men's side of things on the quarterfinal, on the bracket. But, you know, if you're a tennis fan, this is like the Masters as far as if I'm comparing it to something in golf. So it's exciting. I enjoy watching it. It's a lot of fun. You like watching tennis, Randy?
From time to time.
Yeah.
My problem is finding the time to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
No
doubt.
I mean, it's like Sunday afternoons for golf.
Yep.
It's a perfect time. But, these games in the middle of the day, they're just...
Until you get to the semis and the finals. And I think the men's final is usually on in the morning on Sunday. So obviously if you're going to church, probably not something you can get to. But this has been a great match going on right now. But
that's why I just don't schedule anything on Saturdays during college football season.
I think you're not alone when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yeah, college football season coming up here soon. We got to take a quick break. Top of the hour coming up next. Time to dive into some afternoon delight debriefs. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Monday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, likely thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and a high of 86 with a gentle breeze around 11 miles per hour out of the southwest. For tonight, mostly clear skies and a low near 80. Tomorrow, a variety of mostly sunshine and possible thunderstorms and a high around 87. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
The 4th of July mattress sale continues here at the Sleep Center. Stop by the Sleep Center today and you can still save up to $500 on all Tempur-Breeze mattresses. Tempur-Pedic, made in the USA. And available at...
Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Let's see. Diamond stud earrings for Marcy, Bullo watch for Tommy, tennis bracelet for Kathy, and Keith wants a 14-karat chain. Oh, and Hannah wants those white gold hoop earrings.
Okay, guys, Santa gave me his list. He knows that Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the largest selection and lowest prices you'll find anywhere. We've stocked the cases, slashed the prices, and we're offering a free 6-month layaway on our entire jewelry selection. For a stress-free holiday, Tracy's Fine Jewelry, where Santa shops.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The 4th of July mattress sale continues here at the Sleep Center. Stop by the Sleep Center today and you can still save up to $500 on all Tempur-Breeze mattresses. Tempur-Pedic, made in the USA. And available at...
Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the 3 degenerates from the Inside Drive.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the beautiful Golf Plus studios. That's Golf Plus PCB. Check out their new Facebook page. And Alan was kind of updating me on everything. If you're interested in purchasing a store, the Golf Plus Dothan store is still for sale. He has had some people interested. So if you are indeed interested, get that in. You could buy it with the inventory or without the inventory, whatever you would like to do.
Now, that's a business that's been there for a long time.
36 years and counting.
And, I don't know what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says, but running a business, a local business, I mean, it's a lot of work. And I kind of feel for, Alan having to go back and forth between here and Dothan, after a while, that just tends to wear on you.
Yeah,
especially nowadays when it's really difficult, to find people that can run it like you would run it when you're away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Alan's a great guy.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, with that being said, if you're looking to jump into a very, very solid, awesome business, you don't even have to know anything about club repair. That he can teach you all those ropes, but he is certainly looking for people to help him out. Best in the business right here in Panama City Beach, located in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza, right next to Firefly and all the other businesses right there. But he's great. Retail, repair, and club fitting. If you're looking to buy some new clubs, make sure you get fit. We talk about it here all the time. You don't just buy them off the rack anymore. You don't know if it's got the right lie for you. You don't know if it's got the right shaft flex. There's so much that goes into being able to play decent, successful golf, whatever it may be, and Alan Watson certainly can take care of all that for you. Make sure you make an appointment. You can head over to Golf Plus. I wonder if it's just Golf Plus PCB now, if you change that domain, or if it's still the same. Let's find out. I believe it's...
Nothing wrong with doing something on the fly?
Yeah, no, I think it is still golfplusdothan.com, but right here, the PCB location. They've got everything you need, and make sure you get club fitted. And you can book it online, golfplusdothan.com. And, go visit my good friend, Alan Watson. Like I said, he is the best in the business around these parts. But you are listening to The Inside Drive. We are on 104.3 here in Panama City and Panama City Beach. Go to ESPNPC.com. Sign up for Scorpion TV using code ESPNNW. It's only going to be $45.08 a month because $45.10 was just a little too much. But all you got to do is use that promo code ESPNNW. You can watch over 5,000 live streaming channels, including all the sports channels, all the local network channels from Panama City Beach, Panama City, and all the markets throughout the country. They also offer premium movie channels, and you've got 10,000 movies on demand. Again, that's Scorpion TV. You can find that at ESPNPC.com right there at the top of the page.
Now, here's the other cool thing about the ESPNPC.com website is if you're on your mobile device, you can just simply click on either the Apple Store or Google
It's got
Play.
the links to it, and it'll take you wherever your phone has. So, and with that being said, you can download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Just like Randy said, those links are also on our website, ESPNPC.com. But all you got to do is search them up in the stores as well using 104.3. And then once you have it downloaded, you can either ask Alexa or Siri to open your ESPN Northwest Florida app. It'll pop open right on your phone. You can listen to us wherever you go, right there with ESPN free mobile app. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We stream live every day. 3 great local shows. Coach James Hale Show from 7 to 9. Obviously, you're listening to The Inside Drive right here now from 11 to 1. And then last but not least, the Afternoon Underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. Plus all your great Braves games, although the Atlanta Braves not exactly playing great baseball right now. It's been a tough year, and I think they've lost 5 out of their last 6 games. Luckily, they're not going to lose today because they are not playing today. They're getting ready for the road trip out there for the Oakland Athletics. First pitch will be 9:05 tomorrow, 9:05 Wednesday, and then 8:05 on Thursday. All right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. The Atlanta Braves sponsored locally by Bill Berg Kia, PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hewitt Tire and Auto, and Hometown Towing. Again, we appreciate our sponsors bringing you the Atlanta Braves. Still a long way to go. Haven't got to the All-Star break yet. 2 more series before the All-Star breaks. Like I said, the A's up there in Sacramento, and then, of course, the St. Louis Cardinals 3-game series starting Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then, as we mentioned earlier in the show, the Home Run Derby coming up 2 weeks from today. There is actually 8 participants, Randy. They've only announced 3 so far.
And who are those 3?
That is, you put me on the spot. No, it's the Big Dumper, Ronald Acuna, and then who was the third one? My short-term memory.
Didn't you say it earlier?
I did. I did, but my short-term memory sucks now. So, and then they'll announce the rest of the competition, and they've got the new format this year.
So you have that same thing I've had for the last couple of years. I call it CRS.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Yep. Yep, absolutely. They took a chunk out of my brain a couple times, and I feel like that area is where my short-term memory might have been stored. But I do good with that kind of midterm and then long-term. But if I just I'll leave doors open and that I never left open and all that. But yeah, so
you just have to work right through it.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. That's all you can do. Just keep on keeping on. Yep. All right, some afternoon delight debriefs, and just remember, I never read these beforehand. So you and I are learning or listening to the story at the same time. It's a little catfishing story. A scammed British person thought Jennifer Aniston was in love with him and needed help paying her Apple bill. So many red flags with that right off the get-go, but hey, I guess a lot of people are certainly gullible. If I've had fake videos from Jennifer Aniston saying she loves me and asking for about $270, he told the UK paper of the scam using AI images. I believed it and paid. The unemployed Brit from Southampton fell for the scam, even though the supposed Hollywood superstar said she needed his help to pay for Apple subscriptions. Are you there, my love? The scammer asked him in one exchange. My subscription is about to expire. He believed it, he said, because he was sent a photo supposedly proving it was Aniston's driver's license. Then some audio clips sounded just like Brad Pitt's ex-wife. Davis said scammers had messaged him incessantly, while others pretending to be tech giants Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, my God.
It's been going on for 5 months, he said. I thought someone would get in trouble for this, but they seem to be having a laugh and getting away with it. He finally learned his lesson, he said, after getting fleeced by the fake Aniston. I've got bitten, Davis said. Once bitten, twice shy.
Yep.
That's a good point from that, too. Like, you get the calls, the text messages, all these phishing things, emails, all that. Never answer the call, never respond to the text, never respond to the email. Because if you do that, now you're flagged as somebody that will respond to this stuff. And lo and behold, you're just going to get even more. And, just a PSA, don't ever give anybody bank account numbers, any of that stuff.
Social Security numbers.
And police, sheriff's office, they're never going to send you text messages for stuff. The IRS will never send you a text message. You get stuff in the mail.
The latest is toll roads.
Yes, from a +65 number.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So don't fall for them. And listen, Florida Power and Light will probably not call you. They do all their stuff mostly through email and all of that. And you can always go on your log into your account online and look.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
If it doesn't feel right, it probably is not.
9 times out of 9. Yeah. If it doesn't feel right, it is not right. Exactly. Speaking of not feeling right, this is an interesting story. Again, I don't read these stories ahead of time, so we're learning them all together right here in the Afternoon Delight debrief. The title is an interesting one, though. Man endured disturbing consequences after injecting himself with his own sperm to fix chronic back pain. I don't know where this is in the world, but we're about to find out. One man has found out the hard way that you should leave the pain relief to the medical professionals. Seeking a cure for his chronic back pain, he decided to inject his own sperm, only to be left with a disturbing side effect. While we know back pain can be excruciating, can't imagine the pain you must be going through to take such extreme members. Doesn't take someone with a PhD to realize injecting your own sperm into your body probably isn't a good idea. As reported by ABC News, the unnamed, shocking man from Ireland was hospitalized when injecting himself with his own sperm. The Irish Medical Journal explains how the man needed medical attention after he complained about severe, sudden onset lower back pain that was supposedly caused by lifting a heavy steel object 3 days prior. His back pain was said to be ongoing for much longer, but during the physical exam, the doctor said that his arm was oddly red and swollen. There's a picture from it. He had been regularly injecting for the past 18 months. He then revealed he'd been injecting himself with his own semen for the past 18 months using a hypodermic needle he bought online. His current predicament with his arm was caused after he injected 3 doses into his blood and muscle at once. After undergoing an x-ray, he was told he was suffering from subcutaneous emphysema, or it looks like emphysema, but there's no Z in it, which is a rare condition where gas or air is trapped under the skin.
I don't think that's emphysema.
No, emphysema I know is, but it's EMPHYSEMA.
All right, hold on.
Yes.
I need you to spell that one.
Yeah, see if you can pronounce that. We obviously know what it is, but I just don't know how to pronounce it, and that's a shocker because I don't know how to pronounce a lot of stuff here.
Spell it for me again.
EMPHYSEMA. I know it's not emphysema, but it certainly looks like it sounds that way.
Well, I just punched it in. EMPHYSEMA, and it came up as a chronic lung disease that damages the air sacs in the lungs.
Maybe it is a typo from this particular website.
Could be, yeah.
Because what it says is a rare condition where gas or air is trapped under the skin. To combat this, he was immediately commenced on an intravenous antimicrobial treatment. When his back pain eased, he then discharged himself, and it's unknown what happened next. In the report, Dr. Lisa Dunn reiterates the patient was acting on his own accord while he searches for others using semen for pain relief. Turned up nothing. Although there is report of the effects of subcutaneous semen injections into rats and rabbits, there were no cases of intravenous semen injection into humans found across the literature. A search of more eclectic internet sites and forums found no other documentation of semen injection for back pain treatment or other uses. Of course, the IMG warns against trying similar practices. While its first ever described case of intravascular semen injection and associated abscess in the medical literature, its lessons can be applied on a broader scale. The dangers of vein puncture when carried out by an untrained layperson are highlighted, as well as the vascular and soft tissue hazards surrounding the attempted injection of substances not intended for intravenous use. The cause also demonstrates the risks involved with medical experimentation prior to extensive clinical research in the form of phase trials inclusive of safety and efficacy assessments. There are some weird and wonderful medical remedies from across the pages of history, although using your own semen to combat back pain sounds like it could be a one-off case. A lot of lessons to be learned from that particular
don't play doctor on yourself.
No, his arm in the picture is like massive. Looks like he's got the Popeye arm.
You're kidding.
Because he got all that air and everything trapped, so I guess it really swelled up. I wonder if they released it. But yeah, that's came across that article and I was like, it's perfect for our afternoon.
Now, most doctors will have a medical degree.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't try to, Medicaid or
self-treat.
Yes. Yeah, that was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, wild stuff there. Got another one this is from it's a cool, I found this one. It's not disgusting like that last one, but pretty cool nonetheless. The article is called Streak Eagle. January 17th, 1975, a lone F-15A was stripped of its paint, speed brake, flap actuators, radar, and fire control systems, unneeded cockpit instrumentation, generators, redundant radios, and anything that could be left on the ground. Engineers even removed her Vulcan 20mm cannons and all external pylons, leaving a super clean, slick, light and powerful F-15A Eagle that only had one place to go up, like a bat out of hell. The goal was to steal the crown from the Soviets, who held the record for reaching the highest altitudes from a stationary start on the runway. The MiG-25 Foxbat had three highest record positions since 1973. Prior to the Foxbat, the previous altitude records had been held by the U.S. Air Force F-4 Phantom since 1962. Streak Eagle had one mission, and that was to smash the time to climb records held by the Soviet Foxbat. Streak Eagle was held in place at the end of the runway while hooked up to a holdback bar as the pilot applied full afterburner. The explosive bolt detonated, suddenly freeing the Eagle to accelerate down the active, rotating after only 400 feet of runway. The Streak Eagle pulled into an 80-degree climb while accelerating through the speed of sound. Like a homesick angel with her low fuel levels, bare skin, and minimal equipment, sporting a thrust-to-weight ratio of nearly 2-to-1. She sliced through the lower atmosphere like a hot knife through butter. At altitudes, the Streak Eagle even managed to beat the climb rate of the Apollo Saturn V rocket. After the initial climb, the pilot sustained 2.5 G pull, coming back over the base inverted at 32,000 feet. Rolling out, the jet Rolling out, the super slick jet then accelerated over 2 times the speed of sound, pulling 4 Gs into a 60-degree climb. Streak Eagle reached an altitude of 98,425 feet in just 3 minutes, 27.8 seconds from the brake released and coasted on the highest attempt, reaching 103,000 feet in altitude.
That's crazy.
The pilot, in an attempt to utilize every last bit of energy, kept the Streak Eagle in its climb until airspeed bled off as little as 55 knots, only then pushing the stick forward and back towards Earth. During the coast phase, her engines had to be shut down before overheating or flaming out due to the lack of air density. During the descent phase, her engines were restarted to allow the powered approach back to base. The Streak Eagle broke eight time to climb world records between January 16th and January 1st, 1975. After proving the Eagles dared, she was delivered to the National Museum of United States Air Force, which she still remains to this day.
Have you ever been on like a flight on like a jet? I know the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds do that, and sometimes they'll take media when they come in to do a flight. And I've had a couple of friends of mine that do it, and I couldn't do it. I don't have the stomach for it, but they've done it and said it's just unbelievable, when the speed it goes and just the impact that it has on your body. And those guys do that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
The training you have to do. I always wanted to find a way to do it. But
would you do it if I set it up?
I couldn't now because of everything that happened. But, yeah, I would have loved to. I know if, you're on the military affairs committees around this neck of the woods, sometimes you can get on a jet over there at Tyndall. And I actually wanted to be a fighter pilot when I was a kid growing up. But,
that's cool, man.
Yeah, I would have loved to. Michigan Eddie said the Streak Eagle is at the U.S. Air Force Museum. He's seen it in person. It's at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio.
What, does he have pictures to prove it and show us, so we can see it?
I'm going to take his word for it, given his working in. I would love to see. I mean, it's basically they stripped everything off of it, and they've got a picture of it here on this article, obviously up in the air. But how nerve-wracking when your engines are off, you're at 103,000 feet, and then you just got to hope your engines restart on the way back down. I guess.
Man!
I wonder what you can see from 103,000 feet. I'm sure you could see. Probably in outer space, I would imagine.
I don't even know what the level is till you hit. That.
Well, we can find out.
Oh, well, if you got some Googles, we can find out.
That's right.
That's
How
crazy.
many feet is out? I used to know that because I used to be a lot into that kind of stuff. Let's see. 328,884 feet.
So they were about halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, they were getting. They still had a little way to go.
That is nuts. I remember back as a kid in the '60s when the space capsules were landing. In the water, and they made re-entry and the burn marks on the side of them. That was crazy.
It's weird that that Jeff Bezos one that went up didn't have any re-entry burn marks, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I mean, just wild stuff coming out. He was 13 when he went and saw the Slick Eagle, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool. I know we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. I've had some fun afternoon delight debriefs right there, and when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about the highest overpaid players in the NFL world going into the 2025-26 season. You guys are listening to Inside Drive. We are live on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3. We'll be back.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The remainder of the day, likely thunderstorms and mostly sunshine, and the temperature 86 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. Mostly clear skies tonight and quite warm near 80. A variety of mostly sunshine and a chance of thunderstorms, and 87 tomorrow. 86 and some sun in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms Wednesday. This is your Monday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
The July 4th savings continues here at the Sleep Center. Stop by today and you can still save up to $200 on select Sealy mattress sets. Sealy, made in the USA, and available at
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Sizzling hot weather is here. Time to go shopping in some nice air-conditioned surroundings. I know just the place, that boot store. Ooh, it's nice and cool in here with a scent of real leather. Sweet. The Western surroundings and huge name brand selections will make you want to buy 4 or 5 outfits for the whole family, from the smallest to the largest. And why not? Their prices are the best in the area. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Remember, God is good all the time. That boot store next to Bill Bird Kia, 15th Street, Panama City.
The July 4th savings continues here at the Sleep Center. Stop by today and you can still save up to $200 on select Sealy mattress sets. Sealy, made in the USA, and available at
The Sleep Center, where it's bedtime all day long.
Broadcasting from the Gulf Plus studios, it's the Inside Drive. Live from the 19th hole.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar.
It's the Inside Drive.
The price is wrong.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Your home for the Atlanta Braves. No game tonight, so the Braves can't lose today. That's a positive thing. But we start a couple series starting tomorrow night right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We appreciate Best Way Portable Buildings, reliable hydraulic solutions, the best place in town to take a leak, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control for bringing you coverage of the Atlanta Braves in this season, the 2025 season. Still a long way to go, still a lot of things to get figured out, but they need to start making some moves here and making some stuff happen. Quick, yes, quick indeed, because time will be running out. All-Star break is next week. We got to get the Braves moving in the right direction. We're going to pivot to the NFL side of things as we are now officially, let's find out, to the second where we are. NFL kickoff, we know, is the Cowboys-Eagles on Thursday Night Football. That is September 4th. Currently 58 days, 11 hours, 36 minutes, and 35 seconds and counting. On the college football side of things, that gets going here on August 23rd. That one will be here right before we know it. That is probably about, where'd it go? I'm not doing too good with my tabs today, Randy.
That's okay. We all have that that day when the tab thing just drives us nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So
keep trying to tell me how many 47 days, 47 days, 23 hours, 36 minutes, and counting.
Nice.
Literally right around the corner.
So under 50.
Under 50.
That's great.
It'll be literally here before we know it. But and that's week 0. I know week 0. It's officially the start of college football season, but I know week 1 is what everybody's really looking forward to, as you got a lot of big-time games, including that Alabama-Florida State game where former Boston College quarterback Castellanos is calling out the Crimson Tide, who are likely to have the best defense in college football this year. I just don't understand. Like, I get, like, talking trash a little bit, but don't give other teams billboard material, especially this early leading up to the game. But
no, that's not a good thing.
No.
By the way, the Braves aren't tonight, but 4 full, complete, and total hours of the Paul Feinbaum show starts at 6 o'clock.
There you go. I'm sure he'll be talking about that Alabama defense.
Of course.
I'm going to pivot over to the NFL side of things and kind of go through every position, the highest paid player in that position, and these are overpaid players according to the Bleacher Report article by Gary Davenport. We'll start with the quarterbacks at $55 million a year. The Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He was given a 5-year, $275 million extension last year in 2004. The Jags drafted the Clemson product, number 1 in 2021. He's obviously led the team to that thrilling comeback playoff win against the Chargers back in 2002.
but kind of had a little bit of a down year the next year, although he still topped 4,000 passing yards. The first year of Lawrence's new deal was an injury-marred mess. He barely completed 60% of his passes that season, with just 11 touchdown passes in 10 games. His 204.5 passing yards last year was a career low, and his passer rating of 85.2 ranked 28th in the NFL. His 22-38 record as a starting quarterback is far from solely his fault. The 25-year-old hasn't exactly been put in the best position. Liam Cohen will be his third head coach in 5 years, and the Jacksonville's offensive line is below average on a good day. But Lawrence has failed to hit even 15 touchdown passes in 2 of his first 4 professional campaigns and has averaged 11.5 interceptions per season. Hopefully Liam Cohen and the rest of the additions to the Jacksonville Jaguars this season will put him in a little bit better spot after getting that huge contract extension last year. Quarterbacks are wild because it's like, I know I talk about Brock all the time and his extension, but I mean, you got these guys that really haven't done anything that just get these massive contracts, and at some point you would think that would change, but I guess, without a good quarterback, you don't have a good team at all.
So speaking of, I know you mentioned the Trevor and the Jaguars and stuff. How do you think they're going to be after all these years of really not doing well? You think this could be their year?
What would you define as their year? Like, what's a good, reasonable expectation?
More wins than what they received last year.
Okay, well, I think
maybe making the playoffs. Is that possible?
Yeah, because, they've been in the playoffs, I think, 2 out of his 4 seasons, but obviously they had that nice comeback win against the Chargers a few years ago. But, yeah, I think winning a playoff game would be a reasonable goal for the Jaguars to keep moving in the right direction, because they got that new stadium and everything coming here in a few years. So obviously the city and the ownership is investing in that team. But I think there's some loftier expectations for the Jags this year, simply because now they have Liam Cohen as their head coach, and I still think the short period of time there with Urban Meyer kind of set Trevor Lawrence back a little bit. If he would have been with Peterson and even Cohen when he first came into the league, I think we're looking at a little bit different story, because that Urban Meyer season was such a disaster with everything he was doing, not only to players, but just the detriment to the team. And then obviously
about the whole day.
The whole thing with that girl at the bar and all that. And it just wasn't good for your first year in the NFL is so difficult to begin with, let alone have a coach that's, not in it to win it, I guess.
And there's a lot of excitement about the new player that they're bringing in.
Travis Hunter. Yeah,
playing both sides of the ball. There's a lot of fan excitement in Jacksonville about that. So we'll see. We
were obviously in Jacksonville for an extended period of time earlier this month. And
did you get a vibe from anybody of the fans when you were down there?
Yeah. Okay. There was a lot, specifically around Travis Hunter. There was Travis Hunter stuff everywhere, and we actually this is just random. He had purchased a house at Deerwood Country Club, the subdivision around Deerwood Country Club, and we drove past it multiple times. So, the buzz over there in Jacksonville is certainly exciting. It really due to Travis Hunter. And
I just appreciate, whether it's college or NFL, all of the Florida teams doing well. Whether I'm a fan of them or not.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the Bucs will be right there again. They had a good year last year, and Baker's kind of found his own, and Bucky Irvin's been a great addition to their running back room. Speaking of running back rooms, the most overpaid running back in the NFL, Ramondre Stevenson with the New England Patriots. His average annual salary is $9 million. Obviously, it's not easy to make big bucks in the backfield in today's NFL. You're starting to see that change just a little bit. There are only 7 running backs in the league with an average annual salary of $10 million or more, and those backs all have resumes with multiple seasons of high-end production. Ramondre Stevenson and the New England Patriots isn't quite making $10 million a season, but he's still got a 4-year, $36 million extension last year. The big question? Why? Why did he get that? The 27-year-old topped 1,000 yards on the ground for the Patriots in 2022, carrying the ball 210 times for 1,040 yards and 5 scores. But in 2023, before getting that payday, he missed 5 games and saw his yards drop per carry by a full yard. Things got much worse for the Oklahoma product last year. He missed time again. He averaged just 3.9 yards per carry. His 431 yards after contact ranked outside the top 20 at the position. He also fumbled 7 times
times, the most out of any NFL running back. The 2021 fourth rounder was already benched for a time a year ago. The Patriots drafted Ohio State's Travion Henderson in the second round of this year's draft. If Stevenson struggles again this season, the 2025 campaign will likely be his last in Foxborough. I think that Travion Henderson is going to be fantastic for the Patriots. Obviously, Drake May is now back, or he wasn't ever gone, but he didn't play last year, and looking forward to seeing what the Patriots can do and kind of go from there. Wide receiver Christian Kirk for the Houston Texans. His annual average salary, $18 million a year. There's no shortage of wide receivers making the big bucks in the NFL. Headline by Jamar Chase, the Cincinnati Bengals. There are 8 wideouts with an average annual salary of $30 million or more. It's also not the fault of the Houston Texans that veteran wideout Christian Kirk has an average annual salary of $18 million. That contract came from the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2022 when he came up just short of 1,000 yards that year before with the Arizona Cardinals. At first, it appeared the money was well spent. His first season in Jacksonville was the best of his career. He caught 84 passes for 1,108 yards with 8 scores to add on top of that. All were his career highs. The problem is the 28-year-old had just 1,166 yards in the past 2 seasons combined. He's also missed 14 games over the past 2 seasons, including 9 a year ago after breaking his collarbone. The Jaguars essentially gave the 2018 second rounder to the Texans just to get rid of the contract tells you all you need to know about how the past couple of years have gone. And when Kirk hits free agency again this year, the market for his services is going to be different than when he joined the Jaguars. Next up, tight end position, Cole Kmet of the Chicago Bears. His average annual salary is $12.5 million. In 2023, the Chicago Bears gave tight end Colt Kmet a 4-year, $50 million contract extension. He responded with the best season of his 5-year career, 73 catches for 719 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 2025, the Bears used their first pick on Michigan tight end Colston Loveland, clouding Kmet's future. Scott Blair of the Marquee Sports Network, believes that even with Loveland in town, the team has a plan for the 26-year-old, largely because it's essentially stuck with him for now. It's not hard to use the 12 personnel to one's advantage in a Ben Johnson offense, and Kmet has been assured that the Bears have a vision for how to use him in 2025. The Bears offense has tons of talent. I truly believe Johnson will be able to capitalize on such a surplus, even if some individual stats go down. Kmet's overall numbers will see a decline, take that to the bank, but he will also be an important part of the offense, which is only right for a player who has meant so much to the organization for so long. Kmet is a good player and a fan favorite in Chicago. Despite all of the trade speculations, he isn't especially likely to be moved. But the seventh highest paid tight end in the league isn't even the best player at the position on your team. Something is certainly out of whack. Cole Kmet, that 12-team personnel, he may thrive in that or may have to block quite a bit more. Only time will tell. Next is the offensive tackle position. How are we doing on time? 12:33. Okay, we're good. Offensive tackle position, Dan Moore Jr. from the Tennessee Titans. His average annual salary, $20.5 million. Happens every year. Truly elite offensive tackles rarely sniff free agency. Even quality starters are generally locked up before hitting the open market. But that doesn't stop the teams desperate to improve the offensive line from overpaying guys who are actually available. Such was the case for Dan Moore Jr., who got a $20.5 million a season and a $50 million in guarantees from the Titans, allowing a dozen sacks with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. Hopefully he can keep Cam Ward protected. The 26-year-old told reporters he's aware some believe the Titans made a mistake and he aims to prove them wrong. Quote him, "Obviously, I want to exceed expectations, but it's not only about proving the team right, it's about proving myself right. I feel like my expectations will always be higher than anyone else's for me. I feel like by meeting my expectations, I'll exceed the team's expectations. So not only do I want to prove them right, I want to prove them damn right, where they're thinking we've got our guy. He didn't just want to do what they needed him to do, he wanted to do that and more. This is the consensus I want in the organization." That's a lovely statement, but Moore will need to improve markedly to be an okay left tackle.
He's being paid like a top 10 one, and he is most assuredly not. Obviously, that's going to be a huge position protecting the blind side of the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward. Randy, how do you think Cam Ward's going to do this year?
I think quite well.
Yeah, that'd be.
I'm excited to watch him, but I'm also excited to watch Tyler Shuck in New Orleans. I mean, I'm certainly, as a Falcon fan, not a Saints fan, but I'm excited about seeing what he can do. I think his last year at Louisville really set him up well for the NFL. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously the Saints have a lot of questions at quarterback with Derek Carr retiring.
Right.
Was Derek Carr really the answer anyway? I don't know, but he made a lot of money doing it.
Yeah,
that is for certain.
But you know what? To step back a bit with Cam Ward, I think the Hurricanes are going to suffer this a bit this year without him. You know, I don't know if they made the right move. They think they did. They may think they made the right move at quarterback with the Georgia transfer.
Yeah.
You know.
He's had kind of a tough go since he's been down there, not really on the football field, but just kind of in his personal life.
There's actually a kid from not too far from you over in Santa Rosa County that is a backup quarterback at Miami. So will he get a shot this year? We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll find out. Yep. Only time will tell. The next one on my San Francisco 49ers, and I agree with this, interior offensive lineman, that's Aaron Banks. He was on the San Francisco 49ers, and I was actually kind of glad to see him go to the Green Bay Packers. His average annual salary, $19.25 million a year. Like Moore Jr., Aaron Banks recently changed teams, signing a 4-year, $77 million pact with the Green Bay Packers several months ago. While speaking to the media, the 27-year-old said the pursuit of a Super Bowl ring led him to Green Bay. They've been in the playoffs every year, and it's a young team, and guys are only getting better as the younger guys on this team start to become the older guys, and then we will start to bring everybody along. I just think we're all really close. I think we've had all the tools and all the pieces to get there, not only to get there, but win it. And Banks also added, it's a very competitive and hardworking team. Just playing against them, playing against this defense, it's different when you see it on tape versus actually playing against a team and kind of seeing the brotherhood and culture that they have. So I was excited to join it. Earning over $19 million a season probably didn't hurt either. Banks is a capable guard who started 43 games over 4 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers, but he barely ranked inside the top 50 at his position in an overall grade from Football Pro Focus, and PFS. Mason Carman ranked the 6'5", 325-pounder, the number 32 guard in the league in 2025. He's the 6th highest paid player at the position, and another example of an average talent being overpaid in free agency by a team needing help up front. I can personally say that watching him play quite a bit, a lot of sacks he gave up, but hopefully the Green Bay Packers can use him, and if they have to play the Niners again in the playoffs, good luck. Another team for the Green Bay Packers, that is edge rusher Rashawn Gary. He's got $24 million annual average salary. He had a mega deal in camp despite an ACL tear, coming off the ACL tear that prematurely ended what looked like a breakout 2022 season. He had 9 sacks and 22 quarterback hits in 2023. Last year, he fell to just 7.5 sacks and 15 quarterback hits. He's now 20th among edge rushers with 60 pressures in 2023 to 31st with 47 in 2024. For comparison, Detroit's Aiden Hutchinson had 45 pressures in only 5 games. Defensive tackle Alim McNeil, he's with the Detroit Lions. His average annual salary is $24.25 million. And then linebacker Tremaine Edmonds from the Chicago Bears. A lot of players in the NFC North, kind of weird. His average annual salary is $18 million a year. Cornerback Tyson Campbell, another one for the Jacksonville Jaguars, his annual average salary is $19.125 million. And then safety Trevon Moehrig for the Carolina Panthers, his average annual salary $17 million a year. And that pretty much rounds out your NFL's most overpaid players at each position. But at the same time, good for them. They're getting paid all this money. You know, it's not their quote-unquote responsibility how much they get paid. I mean, it is to a certain degree, but, you know, if teams are willing to do it, good for them. And are
you going to turn it down?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And their agents probably wouldn't allow, because the more they get paid, the more the agent gets as well. So, by the way, I thoroughly enjoyed the Wimbledon, the women's. I mean, that was exciting.
Yeah.
And the person who won, I don't know who her name is. You probably do. But
was that the one that was just on?
Yeah.
She just lost the American?
No, I thought she won.
Oh, did she? She lost the first set 6-2.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up here.
But whoever it was that won was looked like she was just down to earth, just nothing flamboyant or
looks like she won 6-2, 6-3 over the American Emily Navarro.
Okay, that's right.
But hey, it's whittling down, and we got to take a quick break. You guys aren't listening to the Inside Drive. Final segment of this Monday afternoon coming up next.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Can the Atlanta Braves make another second half run? Can history be duplicated?
Is this happening? It is! The Atlanta Braves are world champions!
This is why we play the game.
Grissom on the run! Yes!
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200 plus entertainment and news networks, or watch thousands of movies on demand, all for just $45 a month when you use the ESPN NW promo code at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Scorpion TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Scorpion TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Scorpion TV logo. Don't forget our promo code ESPN NW.
Now back to the Inside Drive, live and local from the Gulf Plus studios. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 here in Panama City Beach, all the beautiful surrounding areas. We run all the way up there to Mariana and beyond, all the way over to Fort Walton Beach and down the coast to Tyndall Air Force Base, Mexico Beach, a little bit further.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. If you're interested in any advertisement, reach out to us because we got football season coming, and you're going to be excited about all the coverage we got coming up this year. I am excited. There's something about listening to a live football game on the radio that...
Well, there are people that tell me this all the time. What they'll do is if you listen to us on our app, it's about a 10-second delay.
Yeah.
And television is also on a 10-second delay, so they match.
They pair it up.
I love watching
That's awesome.
Auburn football games and listening to Andy, make the call. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. It's just, because they're all in on the team you're probably listening for. And when you're on, listen over the national stuff, they have to be, they can't be biased to one team or the other, even though sometimes it does look or sound like that. But speaking of college football, top 25 quarterback rankings going into this season coming up. Who do you think's number one, Randy, on this particular? This is On3.com. Obviously, there's all sorts of different rankings. And
number one for college football.
Yes, going into this season coming up.
Georgia.
The quarterback for that.
number one quarterback in college football.
Yes, going into this season coming up.
Wow, that's a tough one. Oh, really?
Yep. From this particular one. It's kind of between two guys, depending on the polls. You got Arch Manning at Texas, and you got Cade Klubnik up there at Clemson. So those are kind of the two guys bouncing back and forth on different polls, saying who's number one. Obviously, On3 has Arch Manning as number one and has Cade Klubnik as number two. Arch Manning's really only had a little bit of playing time so far at Texas, but in those two games he played, he threw for nearly 1,000 yards in those limited opportunities where he started twice last year, and is obviously considered a pretty good dual threat as well for the
Clemson's got a pretty light schedule this year. I mean, they literally could, with the exception of a couple of games, they really could run the table.
Yeah. Now, Clemson, I think a lot of people are kind of looking past the Tigers because they feel like, where they were 5 years ago, they've kind of went down the last few years, but they're right back there, and that's a great point. Their schedule's not really that tough, and they've got another quarterback with Cade Klubnik.
I watched a couple of their games from last year. He's a talented kid.
He could be the number one pick in the draft coming out this next year.
Wonder if he's a Heisman contender.
He's up there. I think he's right there, only a couple hundredths back from Arch Manning for the Heisman Trophy thing. Actually, I'll look that up because I am now curious to see where he is. I know Arch Manning's the favorite
in the Heisman.
Yeah, in the Heisman rankings there. And don't forget, a lot of futures you can get.
Is this the first year that Arch Manning has started for Texas?
Mm-hmm. Last year it was still Quinn Ewers.
Well, how do you automatically put him number one in the Heisman when you don't really see how his performance on the field? That's kind of crazy.
He did start 2 games last year and threw for almost over 500 in both of those games. So in the small sample size he played, he looked pretty good. A lot of people were critical in that Texas-Ohio State playoff game that they didn't put Arch Manning in there when Quinn Ewers was not looking very good. But, we'll see. We'll see.
So what are you coming up with for? Are you looking for a list of the Heisman contenders?
Yeah, I don't think Hard Rock has it right now, but I can search that very quickly. I just want to see where Cade Klubnik is because obviously he's gotten lots of starts there at Clemson. Heisman features.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just over the weekend because I had spent a lot of time, sitting and felt like babysitting, my older brother, and so I watched a lot of videos and stuff. Yeah. And one of them was I watched the Clemson Louisville game from last year, where Louisville went into Clemson and gave them their first home loss in a long time.
Forever, yeah.
And but their quarterback, he's impressive.
Well, he might be a decent future if you can find it in Hard Rock. I don't know if they've Heisman features yet because I couldn't find it, but he's plus 1,000, which is 10-1 odds. And if he's being ranked either the first or second best quarterback going into this season, might not be a bad future there. Arch Manning plus 600 at 6-1. Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, he's a returning quarterback, plus 850. And then Jeremiah Smith, who will be starting for Ohio State this year, is also 10-1 odds. Drew Aller from Penn State, 14-1. Dante Moore from Oregon, probably another decent shot there, as he's supposed to be really good there for the Ducks. Ducks have a great quarterback room. He's he's 18-1. So is Lenoris Sellers from South Carolina, Julian Sayin from Ohio State, and also DJ Lagway from the Florida Gators. And then it jumps up pretty significantly from there. But yeah, Arch Manning is 6-1. Cade Klubnik 10-1. Now that's on the BetMGM book, which is not legal here in the state of Florida. But if you can find those Heisman features in Hard Rock Bets, I would.
Could you simply just Google them?
Yeah, that's what I did. But it came from BetMGM. That's the odds that I just got. But I haven't found them on Hard Rock yet. But like you said, last season for Klubnik, he threw for 3,639 yards, 36 touchdowns, but the big thing was only 6 interceptions and had a great 63.4% completion percentage to go along with 463 rushing yards, including 7 rushing touchdowns. So certainly a true dual threat quarterback, as is Arch Manning. It kind of seems like if you're going to be successful in college, not as much NFL, you have to have that dual threat in this modern day college football.
Yeah.
Another one that's got a lot of high hopes for this team this year is the Penn State Nittany Lions and Drew Aller. He has the build, the skill, and poise to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. It'll be interesting to see how he follows up last year's run to the college football semifinals
with national championship expectations this year. He was a more accurate quarterback last year, tossed 24 touchdowns. He threw for 3,327 yards to only 8 interceptions, but he did only have 2 interceptions in 2023. Nice to see some of these quarterbacks kind of having some longevity when it comes to staying with their schools.
Yeah.
And, not just
that is one of my biggest gripes in college football. To make a commitment, stay with your commitment, but it is just not the norm nowadays.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Penn State. We talked about Ohio State. How do you think the Big Ten is going to be this year? I mean, Wisconsin.
I think the
there
Big
were high
Ten's
hopes there.
probably going to be the best conference in college football this year.
Wow.
I think the SEC is going to be good, but you're still some of these Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Auburn's should be better. South Carolina's returning their quarterback. Lenore Sellers had a great year last year. So I think the SEC is going to be good, but I feel like, with the Big Ten, it's so top heavy. Obviously Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon's making a big splash with the Big Ten. They, did so well last year, but now with the opportunity to have 12 teams in the playoffs, and they took away the conference championship winner getting those top 4 spots, I think that's going to make for a really interesting playoffs this year.
Is it Phil Steele that does the little prediction every year? Does the magazine?
Yep.
And he actually picked for number 1 to be Alabama.
No, well.
We'll see.
We'll see indeed, because they're supposed to have the best defense in all of college football. Right. But, is Ty Simpson the guy? Who's going to be their quarterback going? I think Simpson's the one that's...
Well, to win, though, you do have to score some points.
Yes. But,
Well, what do you think is going to happen, though, if they don't have the season that some are predicting? There's rumblings, and does the seat get a little warm in Tuscaloosa?
It's tough. It depends on who they lose to, if they do lose. I mean, I'm sure...
Out of the gate, Florida State?
Yeah. I just don't see how Florida State would reload to compete with a team like that.
Well, this morning on the Coach Hill show, they were really saying, Gus is going to turn it around, and they're going to have an unbelievable offense. So
they just got a 4-star cornerback too as well that committed to Florida State. Saw that yesterday. But Florida State's they've got to right the ship quickly, because I think Norvell now, if he has another, which I don't think he'll have another season, because DJ Uiagalelei was just awful. He was a terrible quarterback, and
that whole year last year was just, I think it just stunned everybody.
It's kind of like a fluke. Hopefully it was a fluke for all the Seminole fans out there.
We'll know soon in 47 days.
Yeah, absolutely. But and Castellanos is a very serviceable quarterback, and, Gus usually does pretty well with quarterbacks. So obviously, like you said earlier, it's good to see all the Florida teams, pro and college, playing well.
I enjoy that.
Yeah,
I think it's good for all of us.
Yes, absolutely. Garrett Nussmeier from the LSU Fighting Tigers. He's been the popular quarterback selection for the Heisman Trophy this upcoming season. We still have a long way to go, but LSU is certainly one of the better quarterbacks in the quarterback situations in the country right now. Whether he should be above the 3 guys in front of him is up for interpretation right now, but he is still a top 5 quarterback in the country, and another guy who is staying at his particular university. That's kind of the theme with these top quarterbacks. It seems like, Arch Manning could have easily went somewhere else last year when they named Quinn Ewers the starter, but he didn't. He stuck with Texas, and now it's his time to shine. We'll see how that goes.
Now, didn't David Cutcliffe from North Carolina, he went to Texas, and they thought because of the relationship that he had with the Manning family, that's the reason Arch picked that school, and he went there to be his coach. I don't know if he's still there or not.
I don't know if he's still there or not.
Part of it,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of these, you get paired up with somebody you're super comfortable with, and that makes a big difference. Another quarterback that the On3's got ranked number 5. He was there last year as well, and that's the quarterback from Arizona State. That is Sam Leavitt. Obviously had a massive season last year, led the Arizona State Sun Devils to a Big 12 title and a college football playoff berth. He's got the skill and moxie, and of course, he has Jordan Tyson to throw to again, as Tyson stayed with the Sun Devils. Leavitt is an exciting quarterback going into 2025 after throwing for nearly 3,000 yards and 24 touchdowns last season. Obviously, he won't have the comfort and the great running of of what's his name? Scadaboo, who's now on the New York Giants. Number 6 in the league, one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch, that is Lenoris Sellers. He is a pure dual threat quarterback for the University of South Carolina and should be a lot of fun to watch this year, especially after his 2024 season and following some development. He could end up being the best quarterback in the Southeastern Conference. Last year, Sellers threw for 2,543 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a 65.6 completion percentage, but he also ran for 674 yards and 7 total touchdowns. And I know all our Florida Gator fans here in the Florida Panhandle are excited about the season coming up, especially with the full season, barring an injury, knock on wood, I'm not wishing that on anybody. That's DJ Lagway from the University of Florida. He's got a lot of potential to quarterback, and it seems like the Sporting News is banking on it as well. As long as he develops and stays healthy, he could really elevate Florida to new heights in 2025. As a freshman, Lagway threw for 1,915 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, and a 59.9% completion percentage. If he cuts down the turnovers and the offensive symmetry improves, it should be a good year for DJ Lagway. I'm excited to watch him play again. Obviously, he got inserted into the starting quarterback about halfway through the season, as I forget the other quarterback's name, just kind of was not performing. And, now he's got a whole training camp, spring football, knowing he's the starter going into the season, and I think that makes a good difference, especially for young kids.
It's going to be interesting to see what Florida does this year. There's good vibe in Miami, and then Florida State, situation. How do they do? So it's going to be all eyes on the state of Florida.
Yeah, no doubt. Just a couple quick ones. I'll just go through the names. Luke Altmaier from the University of Illinois. He's coming back. He threw for 22 touchdowns and 2,700 last year. He was a big reason why Illinois won 10 games last season, and he's obviously back, so the expectations for the Illini could compete for the top of the Big Ten in the college football playoff if he indeed plays like a top 10 quarterback. There's another Big Ten school that's on the up and up, and that's Illinois, no doubt. John Mateer from Oklahoma. He's number 8. Julian Sayin from Ohio State, number 10. I'm excited to watch this guy play. A lot of hype for Julian Sayin, and we'll see how it all comes to fruition. Then you got Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, Haynes King, Georgia Tech, Carson Beck, Miami, Josh Hoover from TCU, Nico Imalieva from UCLA, Rocco Beck from Iowa State, Kevin Jennings, SMU, Sawyer Robinson from Baylor, Miller Moss from Louisville, Jake Retzlaff, who I think is leaving, if I'm not mistaken. There was some kind of controversy with that one. Don't quote me on it. We got to go. Appreciate you guys diving in. Colin Coward coming up next. Brian Haddad hosting the Afternoon Underdogs at 4, followed by Paul Peinbaum at 6. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
The Atlanta Braves are back.
Here comes the throw. It's late. Braves win.
And ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for Braves country.
He just wrecked that thing. Straight away center, a homer for Riley.
Sales, Strider, Acuna, Ozzie, Riley, Profar, and Coach Snitker lead a stellar lineup. Listen live nights and weekends on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The remainder of the day, likely thunderstorms and mostly sunshine and a temperature of 86 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the southwest. Mostly clear skies tonight and quite warm near 80. A variety of mostly sunshine and a chance of thunderstorms and 87 tomorrow. 86 and some sun in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms Wednesday. This is your Monday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Reliable Coffee Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kia Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Mothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Previously on the Herd. Push rewind. The Steelers are officially all in. I heard that a lot yesterday because they got Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and tight end Jonnu Smith. Well, if they're all in, that's a pair of eights. Okay, that ain't pocket aces, folks. So that's all in.
A new day in the Herd starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen. You guys can laugh at me all you want.
This is the Herd.
Oh, yeah.
With Colin Cowherd.
I'm setting the tone.
This is the Herd.
Broadcasting live from Los Angeles. Here they are, LeVar Arrington and Jonas Knox.
It's the Herd, Fox Sports Radio. LeVar Arrington, Jonas Knox in for Colin here. You can listen to this show on the iHeartRadio app. You can also find us on hundreds of affiliates all across the country as we take you all the way up until 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific Time here on the Monday after a wild 4th of July weekend.
What do you mean, a wild pre-show meeting of the minds? And I mean, we could have did a 3-hour show on the industry, behind the scenes storylines. I mean, they're really a doozy.
Yeah, it should definitely.
It's the Celsius. I blame Celsius. I love y'all's drinks, though. By the way,
it is. It's been a. How was the 4th of July weekend? Huh?
It was good, man.
Because here's the problem. It's on a weekend. It started on a Friday, so you just gave people an excuse to get butchered for 2 days after.
You want to hear the wildest story? So we got a rooftop lounge on my house, right? So
It's
we
relatable.
go upstairs. Everything, it must not be. We were up there. We're hanging out. And the way it's set up, you can't see us up there. So if something's going on up there, you can maybe hear it possibly, or if you do something like, say we were to shoot fireworks off or something like that, you might have an idea that, okay, they can get up on the roof, whatever, right? But it's a balcony, it's a rooftop lounge. So we go up there, and we have one of those, we have a safe, portable fire pit. Fire pit gets lit up, but here's the problem. The girls go up to do it, and they put 5 Dora flames on there. 5. So you got this big ass flame, and the flame was giving off black smoke, right? So we're sitting up there, we're listening to music, we're having a good time. We can see all of the fireworks from the piers in the Beach City, South Bay, all the way out to wherever, Orange County. You can just see all of the fireworks going off. So we're watching the fireworks, and I'm like, man, these firemen the police are going to have a busy night because you can see the random fireworks going up, right? Which, by the way, fireworks in L.A. is really a thing, bro.
Oh, my God.
I heard fireworks from 9 a.m., literally nonstop, until I went to sleep at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, why people light fireworks off during the day?
I mean, it was the entire day. All you heard was, the whole day. Anyway, back to my point. So the fire's going up, and I'm like, man, firemen, cops, they're going to have to run around because, you make these wildfires, this, that, and the other. We're not even thinking about it. And sure enough, you see a fire engine come out. Fire engine comes out, da-da-da, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh, man. You hear some fireworks going off in our area, so it's like the firemen come up in our area. And it's like they turned the lights off, but they're coming up in the area. The next thing you know, they get up, and they're like 1 street away from us. I was like, man, they right here. Something going on, right? Then I looked at our fire pit. I was like, this fire is high. They drive past the street, so I'm thinking they're about to go past the street. They turn the lights on. Turn the lights on. Turn down our street. I was like, yep, they coming here. I had to go down to the front, grab, and they were really, really cool. I'm a big time, supporter of first responders. I appreciate Redondo Beach Fire Department. Really, really cool people. So I walk them, man. We walk up. They look at it. They're like, man, everything's cool. He's like, but your neighbors are freaking out. They are freaking out. I go look over the edge, and I see a whole crowd of people in 2-3 yards looking up at our house. They thought that bad boy was burning down.